Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Cal Day presentation on behalf of the College of Chemistry at the University of California, Berkeley. My name is Professor John Arnold. I'm a professor of inorganic chemistry. I've been here for over 32 years in the college. I am also the undergraduate dean for the College of Chemistry. I'm going to spend a few minutes telling you about some of the history of the College of Chemistry and why College of Chemistry is so highly ranked both nationally and internationally. We are one of the oldest chemistry departments in the United States. Chemistry was one of the original majors when the University of California, Berkeley was established over 150 years ago. College has had a significant impact on society through developments in the periodic table. So Berkeley has had a larger influence on the periodic table than arguably any other university since the time of Mendeleev, who invented the current manifestation of the periodic table. So you can see here, Berkeley has added many elements to the periodic table in the last 50 to 100 years or so. Berkeley is highly ranked by any standard, by any rankings nationally and internationally. These are examples here. You can see lots of other examples now that are available. Regardless of where Berkeley comes, whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, Berkeley is always in the top 5 in chemistry. In particular, the 3 degrees that are offered in the College of Chemistry, chemical biology, chemistry, and chemical engineering, all feature in top 5 lists across the country here. So very high standards, very high levels of excellence in the College of Chemistry in research, also in undergraduate education. Why are we all here? Well, because of the College of Chemistry's contributions to society. So in these several areas listed here, research that goes on in the College of Chemistry is important for the United States, and it's important internationally. The College of Chemistry is heavily involved in research, and it's certainly one consideration if you're considering coming here, that you'll be exposed to very high standards of research. And if you want to get involved, we have lots of opportunities for undergraduates to do that. The work that we do has been recognized across many areas of chemistry and chemical engineering. I'm highlighting some of the areas here that the faculty, both in chemistry, the Department of Chemistry, and the Department of Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering, CBE, that they're interested in. So this expertise is very, very broad, and it's at the cutting edge of science in the US and nationally. That excellence is recognized amongst the faculty by these awards. A large number of national medals of science. Many of the faculty are on the list of members of National Academies of Engineering and Sciences and the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. In addition, I want to point out this last award here. Many of our faculty are recipients of the Campus Distinguished Teaching Award. It's the highest award for teaching on the Berkeley campus. And this highlights the extent to which our faculty are engaged not only in very high-level research, but are also devoted to teaching. In addition to those awards, there is the big one, the Nobel Prize. A number of Nobel Prizes have been awarded to current faculty and to alumni. The most recent one being Professor David McMillan, awarded this last year in 2021 for the work that he began here at Berkeley when he was an assistant professor, and the year before that in 2020 for our own Professor Jennifer Doudna for her work in really important work in CRISPR technology. In addition to people who've actually won the Nobel Prize, there are several on the faculty now, or emeriti of our faculty, who are on the list for upcoming Nobel Awards. So stay tuned to that. And overall, here's the list of people. You can see a presentation on this ground floor of Latimer Hall with plaques with all these people listed, plus our newest ones, including Professor Doudna and Professor Macmillan. So in addition to that, we can highlight several successes from the College of Chemistry. In particular, I want to highlight this one. We have a very, very strong interaction with the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory. That's a DOE, Department of Energy funded facility up on the hill behind the Berkeley campus, where many faculty and students and undergraduates work in research. We have extensive collaborations with industry and with other institutions, nationally and internationally. Most recently, we've expanded our administration in the College of Chemistry with the addition of Dr. Bryce Yates as our Chief Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Officer, working alongside Professor Anne Barringer in this very important endeavor. Let me say a little bit about the undergraduate population. More specifically, we have somewhere on the order of 1,000 undergraduates in the college. That's a relatively small number for the Berkeley campus compared to letters and science, which has many thousands, and engineering, which is around 4,000 or 5,000 students. So we're relatively small in comparison. And that has consequences for advising and for teaching, etc. You can see here the general makeup of students in the college as of last year. And for those of you fortunate enough to be admitted to the College of Chemistry, first of all, congratulations. You're in a very, very distinguished class, as you can see here, based on GPAs at least, a very distinguished group of students. Let me say a little bit more about the departments next. I mentioned that we have 2 departments in the College of Chemistry, which makes it very small. That's the chemistry department. And in the chemistry department, there are 2 degrees, chemistry and chemical biology. And in chemical and biomolecular engineering, there's 1 degree, that's chemical engineering. Half of our students, roughly, are in CBE, and the other half is split between chemistry and chemical biology. That said, incoming freshmen into the College of Chemistry all start in the same course. That would be Chemistry 4A, with an option to take Chemistry 1A if your background hasn't included AP Chemistry or extensive chemistry. You can opt to start in Chemistry 1 and then join everybody else either in Chem 4B or in the sophomore semester. So this chart here is shown for chemistry. If you look on our Undergraduate Student Services website, you'll see similar course schedules, not only for chemical biology and chemical engineering, but also for a transfer student admits, you'll see a similar chart. I mentioned Undergraduate Student Services. This is an office comprised of several staff advisors. I'll show those on the next page, who are available Monday through Friday in Gilman Hall to meet with students one-on-one to discuss issues that they have, class schedules, problems, etc. But in addition to that, the Undergraduate Student Services is meant to be a holistic set of services for undergraduates, specifically in the College of Chemistry. So all these amazing people here work specifically just with College of Chemistry students in academic advising. We also, I'll show you in a slide in a second, have our own career counselor. We also have peer advisors and peer tutoring. And that program was established back in 2017 by one of the advisors, Shemaya Pelham. It's now blossomed. It has its own special space, the Peer Tutoring and Study Center in Bixby Commons on the plaza level of Latimer Hall. And between the hours of 10 and 5 every day, there are peer tutors available for students to go and talk to work with, and that program has blossomed over the last few years. I mentioned the Career Services Counsellor. We have the services of an amazing person, Najet Carrick, who works with all our students to develop things like resumes, interviewing skills. She can also provide information on possible internship opportunities and job opportunities. Those career services are available to every undergraduate in the College of Chemistry here. There is a service that you can sign on to and work with Najet to find career opportunities both while you're here at Berkeley and beyond. We also have an amazing set of student organizations. This is a recent list here. Some of these are longer standing than others, but student groups are important for leadership opportunities, for the work that they do, for other undergraduates and for the college. And all students coming in are eligible to join these groups and to talk to people in the groups about the opportunities that they present. Let's focus a little bit on the degrees now. These are the average GPAs by major for 2019-2020. You'll notice these aren't all 4.0s. So despite the fact that students coming into the college come from high schools where they have very high GPAs, recognize that the bar is kind of reset again when you start here. So not everybody gets an A in these classes. What happens over time, though, is that GPAs tend to rise as you move through the program. So sometimes GPAs aren't super high in the freshman chemistry classes. These are very demanding classes. They're taught at a very high level, much higher than AP chemistry classes, which is why they're required for all students coming into the college. And you can see here roughly GPAs for don't be too worried that, for example, in chemistry, you're seeing an average GPA here of about 3.3. People on the outside recognize that there isn't grade inflation here and that these GPAs really mean something. We always say a B is a very good grade here in Berkeley. A is excellent, but B is very good, particularly considering the fact that your peers are also amazing. What do students do after they leave here? Many of our students go on to graduate programs, some of the best graduate programs in the world. In the process, while they're here, they're winning lots of awards. So you can see here, large numbers of awards. This one in particular, the NSF Graduate Fellowships, I believe it's still true that the College of Chemistry here, students in the College of Chemistry win more NSF Graduate Research Fellowships to go on to graduate school than any other chemistry department, any other college of chemistry, certainly. In addition to that, the graduating class has won a whole list of awards here. These are just a few of them. So highly competitive. All of these awards are highly competitive, but Berkeley students do really well in the process. While they're here, many of our students undergo or get involved in opportunities to do internships and research. So specifically for internships, there's a long list of companies here. Students also win awards from the student group perspective as well. In particular, IKE and ACS have been very successful in national and some international awards too. Going back to research for a second, I'd say most students who come to Berkeley are interested in research. It's one of the reasons to come here. It's a big research university, so getting engaged is on people's minds. And at last count, about 70% of our undergraduates get involved in some form of laboratory research exercise while they're here. That could be in the College of Chemistry with a faculty member in one of our 2 departments. But it's also true that our undergraduates work across the Berkeley campus also up at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab, and even with local companies, startup agencies, and state agencies. So there's a lot of room for different kinds of research experiences for the chemistry students. There's a course in the 3rd semester, Chemistry 96, which provides a lot of information about this process. And then once students have got some research done and they have results to talk about, every April, we have one coming up here. We have a research fair. This year it'll be on Cal Day, probably held outside, where students will present posters on their research. So if you're here for Cal Day this year, 2022, you'll be able to talk to undergrads currently doing research. What happens when you graduate? Well, I mentioned that a lot of our students go on to grad school. That's true. Many of those students end up doing PhDs and postdocs. Some of those students actually come back here to Berkeley to be faculty. More often than not, though, they go to other universities, not just in the US, but across the world. So if you look at chemistry departments, particularly in the United States, Berkeley is very, very well represented. In addition to that, in addition to graduate programs, I'd say about half of our students go on to graduate programs. For the rest, they're involved in corporations, in nonprofits, and in government agencies. So just a quick list of names there of some of the places that our students have accepted positions at. You can see here, this is a partial list. There are many other names on this list, but you can see lots of very, very high profile institutions here. Going back to PhD studies for a second, our students go on to the very best graduate programs, but many of them go to a really broad range of graduate programs, as you can see on this list here. And faculty at these institutions here, these are some of the top departments in the country. Our alumni are engaged as professors in many of these departments here. So in addition to that, our graduating class has been involved in all kinds of other activities outside of research, outside of doing internships, and you can see some of the examples shown over here. That, I will thank you for your attention. I'm sure you might have questions, and if you do, I'll be at Cal Day. I'll be here at the end of April in 2022 to answer any questions that you might have, and also want to point you to our Undergraduate Student Services website, where lots of your questions will be asked about research, etc. There's also an FAQ list there. And if you don't get those questions answered, you can always drop me an email. My email address is arnold@berkeley.edu. And with that, I will close and wish you a good day. And I hope to see you